Huge stream today as we are joined by the best fantasy football player on the planet. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two, so my 2025 best ball results are better.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.
All right, GM, everyone. How are we doing today? We've got what I think is going to be a jam-packed show coming up. I am going to draft a solo Best Ball Mania team, and then we are going to have the greatest fantasy football player in the world, one Mr. Justin Herzig, so crowned by Rolling Stone magazine. I still cannot believe Justin frickin' Herzig was on the cover of Rolling Stone. He is going to join us for our second draft. I just went through and did all my slow puppy picks, so I'm all caught up. Time for everyone in fantasy sports to actually learn something. GM Nick, GM this is fine, GM Josh, GM to ball is life over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DavisMattic. Reminder, if you normally watch these on YouTube, you can watch them over on twitch.tv/DavisMattic. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can basically you get to watch it in high definition, no advertisements, for free. Supports me, lets you use something you already have. Let's be honest. Let's just be very real. How many of you don't have Amazon Prime? I guess that I would be really curious. How many of you guys don't have Amazon Prime? All you have to do, so if you are a YouTube member like Clay or Fantasy Football Garage or This Is Fine, all you have to do is link your YouTube account and Discord. So you get on Discord, you get on YouTube, and you just link them. There is a very simple it'll take you 30 seconds probably, Nick. No Prime for Mr. Delicious Grizzly. You know what? I think just while we're talking about the Discord, I believe Mr. Delicious Grizzly, is your Discord username Linear Grizzly Bear? Because if so, you are one of the people who did not respond to the Dynasty League. Remember, those of you guys who are in the Discord, if you sign up for the Dynasty League, we are about to get started. Chad is tracking everyone down to make sure that everyone who signed up for the league is in the league. And I think that we should just go ahead and hop in to a 20-second per pick Best Ball Mania. Oh, I don't have rankings loaded in because I was just making a video. Why would I have just made a video that didn't have any rankings in it? Well, that's a good question. And maybe you should become a YouTube member and go find out what video it was and go see what we have cooking over there. Bang, done. 20-second per pick. We're in. Okay, then it's a different Grizzly. I do not have rankings for every contest. I didn't do Superflex rankings. I guess I probably will cook up some eliminator rankings over on Patreon. In fact, you know what? I'll commit to that. I will have eliminator rankings up at some point in the next 24 hours over at patreon.com/DavisMattic. Link to that is in the description. Link to that is posted at the top of the chat. All right, let's get this one filled. Let's see where we're picking. My boy Blake, I got it, guys. I gotta give something out here. Mr. Blake Harrison. This dude loves his 18th round picks. He just loves. No one is better than this guy at making me think about round 18 picks. He thinks it's foolish to have 0% AJ Dillon. I mean, I think probably I think we will probably see quite a bit of Shipley if Barkley were to get injured. Honestly, that would be my opinion. I don't think we'll see much of Montrell Johnson though. Montrell Johnson was a backup running back at the University of Florida. I believe he was an undrafted free agent. Actually, I don't think he got drafted. This is my thoughts exactly on J.K. Dobbins probably signing with the Broncos. I am also not particularly worried about Harvey, and in fact will end up drafting more of RJ Harvey as a result of this happening. Like Harvey, I was kind of like an 8, 9, 10% guy on, but Harvey in round 6, Harvey in round 7, to me, would sort of be an absolute jam, is the way I think of it. Love A.J. Dillon this year. His agent said the Eagles approached him about signing with a specific role in mind. Eagles weren't even on the radar. Well, so I gotta say, that actually does not sound that bullish to me. Delicious Grizzly on A.J. Dillon. A specific role does not sound like a guy who's going to get 20 touches a game if Barkley has to miss any time. Specific role sounds like, I don't know, what if I could kind of imagine a specific role for A.J. Dillon, I would kind of almost think of him like a fullback, if that makes sense. Like, as everyone's saying, specific role is helping the tush push. His role is the tush pusher. He'd be good at it, right? Guy'd be awful good at pushing tush. Is Underdog dropping Gilbert Arenas? Seems very unlikely. I believe Mr. Arenas hosts the most popular show that is associated with the Underdog brand. I think Gilbert's show on YouTube does crazy numbers. So I think it would seem super unlikely that Mr. Gilbert would be going anywhere. J-Mo is a way better pick. J-Mo is just straight up a way better pick in every format, to me, than JSN. All right, so Neighbors is my least drafted player in the top 12 ADP. So we are going to take Malik Neighbors, and we are going to be pretty happy about it. I'm totally happy to take Mr. Neighbors, because I don't even mind taking Jackson Dart either. Like, maybe if you were a big Dart hater, you wouldn't like it. Wow. Okay, so we could do. Let's do Neighbors and AJ Brown. I almost took Derrick Henry. Spoiler alert: the video this weekend, that if you are a subscriber of the channel that you guys are going to get, and actually if you're a member, you can watch it right now. The title of the video is "Why Do Fantasy Players Keep Fading Derrick Henry?" So yes, this is fine. Must have already watched it. I really did almost do it, just for. I almost just did it for the bit. Nick said, I enjoyed that last video. Baker going 3 picks before you and then picking Igbuka for the stack. Yeah, many such cases. You got to keep your head on a swivel in these drafts. I think this is a totally fine way to view your round 18 picks, right? To say 18th round Dillon for a random week 17 2-touchdown game. Crazier things have happened. No doubt about that. But I'm probably not betting on it. Personally, I would say my flavor of the week 18th rounders are Jordan James. I still like taking Estime. I know that's unpopular. Miles Sanders, Kareem Hunt, Sean Tucker. Dylan Sampson. I mean, Dobbins, I think, needs to be drafted at a higher rate right now. After those thigh picks yesterday, I'm starting to think RJ Harvey and AJ Dillon are the same person. Stay woke. GMC money. I do not think Ladd is at his ceiling. I don't. There's quite a bit of ceiling left for Mr. McConkey because he didn't even really dominate volume the way that you would maybe anticipate someone of his role. Like in your head right now, just in mental math, don't look it up. How many targets did you think Ladd McConkey had last year? Do the math in your head. Like, he had 140, he had 130. It's gonna be a lower number than you think on Ladd McConkey. Okay, well you guys are good. You guys are good. The answer is 112. The answer is 112 targets. A little bit of context. How many targets is that? That was fewer targets than Juwan Jennings, fewer targets than Calvin Ridley, fewer targets than Jacoby Myers. That was 26th in the NFL in targets. Well, do we take Brees or do we value hound JSN, who I don't even like? You know what? Let's just balance our exposures here. Let's take Kyren. I have no Kyren Williams. There you go. Mr. Best Pulse just realized he's drafting at the 1-1. Good luck to you, sir. I take Kareem Hunt every once in a while. Brashard Smith is my favorite Chiefs running back click. I think Hunt is I think Hunt's kind of lame. I mean, I think that actually, I don't even think I know, Connor, that and we're going to take Ted here. I know that the Chargers, after their bye week last year, were a positive pass rate over expectation team. So they're going to throw a little bit more than you think, the Los Angeles Chargers. I think there is a lot of upward momentum for Ladd. Yes, Mr. Rich Rebar gave us explicit permission to draft Brashard Smith. He was like, look at all these jabronis. You know, Isaiah Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, Kareem Hunt. No shade, but Rich gave us explicit permission. Giddens is real strong, man. Giddens, I think, is just locked into being the running back too on this team that's going to run the ball. Not, I wouldn't say Jonathan Taylor's injury prone, but I also would not call Jonathan Taylor. I would not call JT a Iron Man. I think it's fine to mix in Eli Mitchell. I think I've taken Eli Mitchell. I don't know. Mitchell is the one. I mean, Mitchell actually has a bigger contract than Hunt. His contract is worth up to $3.5 million. But, I mean, I think he could just also pretty easily just not make the team. And anytime a guy is actually close to not making the team, it doesn't feel that good. Also just realized the banner said Eliminator. This is not an Eliminator draft. This is a Best Ball Mania. I believe this is my 28th Best Ball Mania draft. And I just realized that the sidekick wasn't on. There we go. Stay hip. So we have Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, Kyren Williams, Ted McMillan. Little cozy build there. Well, I can tell you, Mitchell, the only StreamYard music available is called Acoustic Cinematic, Dance Pop, Daydreaming, Feeding the Ducks, Into Space, Lo-Fi, and Rock. So probably the one you're thinking of is the lo-fi, I would guess. I honestly no. I'm not going to pivot to Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert was in the clearest path of all time to get the ball for the Cincinnati Bengals last year, and they were like, nope, no chance. They were giving the ball to Chase Brown. Wow, Jalen Hurts falls all the way down to us at pick. No, he doesn't. He got snapped. That is so annoying. Sure. Let's add on Rome Odunze here. Already getting a little bit of a slide here with Harvey. The StreamYard Rock song is terrible. It's awful. That was Rybert. I got slow rolled because Hertz was still displaying for a second in the sidekick. Myers goes with the double running back tap here. This Myers is cooking. St. Brown, BTJ, JSN after ADP, Worthy, Travion, Harvey. I'll take Jordan Addison. So Kyron, we're doing a real Kyron anchor RB ass build here. Yeah, I guess I've been observing this a little bit, that the market is finally letting Burrow's ADP fall a little bit. Now, honestly, as it pertains to RJ Harvey, it's not that I didn't want to pick him there, and in fact, I wish that I would have, seeing how that turn went. It's more that I feel as if this is the direction his ADP is heading. And so I don't want to be buying like the top, if that makes sense. I would rather be part of the contingent that is getting better prices on Harvey than continuing to buy him at the old price. Not that Harvey is a bad pick. I am going to move Harvey down a smidgen in my next rankings update. Probably not much, though. Like, probably not as much. Like, if J.K. Dobbins does actually sign, that will be very interesting to see what the market does with Dobbins and with Harvey. And will Estimate be drafted at all? Title said, learn from the best. Well, did Rolling Stone call you the best fantasy football player in the world? Yeah, I think you kind of have to be buying Dobbins right now. I don't actually see any logical argument to not be buying Dobbins in round 15 or whatever right now. Yeah, I think Dobbins will get up to the Ramondre range. That sounds about right. If Herzig is the Rolling Stone, does that make you the complete unknown? I love Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, top 7 person on earth to me. Do you think it's a split backfield? Well, it's definitely not a competition. 0% of competition. I mean, RJ Harvey is going to get the lion's share. Oh, Rybert, do not take Kaleb Johnson. Don't do it. You want Brandon Ayuk. You do not want Kaleb Johnson. Let's go. That's a slam dunk right there. Kaleb Johnson at pick 82 is beautiful. My Dobbins bags are not packed, so I read that one wrong. Does Keenan have the same argument as Dobbins? No, he doesn't, because okay, let me see if I can word this the right way. Dobbins could be past it as a player and still kind of eke out some fantasy points and be really annoying for Harvey. If Keenan shows up to camp and he's past it, we could be looking at like what happened to Allen Robinson. So like Allen Robinson shows up to Chicago in 2021. He went from 102 receptions one year to 38 for 410 and 1 the next year. I am not going to take Kaleb here. I'm also not going to take Hawkinson here. I am going to take Isaiah Pacheco, who I have ranked ahead of ADP. So we now have Kyron Williams, Kaleb Johnson, Isaiah Pacheco, Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, Ted McMillan, Rome Odunze, Jordan Addison. So we just need one of those NFC North quarterbacks to get back to us, and we are chilling. Herzig, 100% Chase Brown because a Rolling Stone gathers no moss. God, Keenan to Pitt is good for who? Who is that? Connor, who is it good for? Is it good for Pittsburgh? Is it good for Keenan? Because that sounds like a nightmare to me. Well, I mean, did Keenan do that to Rome, or did Rome do that to himself? Because I don't think you can make a convincing argument that Rome Odunze was a good player last year. 140 targets for DJ Moore, 121 for Keenan, 101 for Rome in 2 more games. 744 yards for Keenan, 734 yards for Rome. I think it's quite hard to make that argument, actually. I think Keenan was a little bit worse than you remember, and Rome was a little bit better than you remember. The end of the day, the only Bears wide receiver who actually played well, and no one listening to this is going to agree, is DJ Moore. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can take Keenan now, but doing the pattern matching of J.K. Dobbins seems likely to get a favorable outcome right now. So that means I'm going to start taking Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen because they're likely to get favorable outcomes. Seems a bit amiss to me. Like, my response to J.K. Dobbins probably signing with the Denver Broncos is mostly, all right, I should temper my enthusiasm early season for R.J. Harvey. It's a good reminder that what NFL rosters look like on June 5th is not what they're going to look like on September 10th. And that's kind of about it. I tell you what, I did. I'll be real honest with you guys, though. I did take Amari Cooper in a round 18 puppy slow draft this morning. So I guess I am not immune to the pattern matching. All right, it's got to be Kaleb and Rome here, assuming Rybert does not unsubbed, unwatched, unliked. All right, bang, Kaleb Williams and Rome. Could take Kelsey or Loveland with the next pick. I think either's fine. Guilty. Yeah, honestly, I deserve it. Okay, I guess I'm not taking Kelsey. I'm also not going to take Loveland this early. I think Sharps here is fine. I think Shaheed is fine. I think Tootin's fine. Let's do Shaheed. So now we can take Dart or Shuck. Maybe should have just taken Loveland there, but whatever. Maybe this will be a 3 tight end team. Maybe this will be a 3 quarterback team, or maybe tight ends just don't matter. I fully agree with this, Saber. Dunder Mifflin's now a part of Sabre. Yeah, Jayden Higgins will rise at least a round by August. I feel pretty confident in that. We're going to get some good training camp stuff on Jayden Higgins. And as soon as we get that, I don't think we'll get as good of training camp news on Trey Harris because they have to pretend like Quentin Johnston is going to be a starter. So he'll probably pass up these two because Burden, I mean, who knows? a really strong chance he gets all the way past Cup and maybe even Igbuka. Because the Buccaneers also are just not going to say Emeka Egbuka is a starter. Because you can't, I mean, obviously you can't start over Godwin and Evans. I mean, they're going to say complimentary things about him, but they're also not going to, they're not going to say bad shit about Jalen McMillan. McMillan was kind of the Iron Man for them last year. I think I moved Igbuka up quite a bit in my last rankings update. Igbuka in a neutral situation should be going in the 50s given his capital. I'm going to get a rankings update out this afternoon. In fact, you know what? Let's actually just do this right now. Give you guys a little bit of an insight into how this goes. I am going to move Dobbins up, but I'm not going to move him up as much as you guys might think. I'm going to move Dobbins, and I was down on Dobbins. I'm going to move Dobbins up one spot behind Roschon Johnson. No, you know what? I'm going to move him up to exactly 150. There you go. Done. I moved Dobbins up to 150. If I have to move him higher than that, I'll move him higher. But if you are a subscriber over at patreon.com/DavisMattic, that sheet is now updated. So you've got the new Dobbins update position done, exported, bang. There we go. Dobbins, that's the thing, is Dobbins still is not signed. He was just having dinner, bro. He just flew out to Denver and had a nice little dinner for himself. Yes, Eliminator Ass rankings. Those are going to be up at some point here pretty soon. Going to fist bump in JJ McCarthy here. Kaleb Williams, JJ McCarthy. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. All right. We are a little bit behind at tight end, but that's okay. Kaleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, Kyron Williams, Kaleb Johnson, Isaiah Pacheco. Damn. I thought David Njoku got sniped. He did not. Wide receivers, Neighbors, AJ Brown, Tet McMillan, Roma Dunze, Jordan Addison, Rashid Shaheed. Tight end, David Njoku. Feeling pretty good about that, honestly. That feels good. My thoughts on Javonte Williams of the Dallas Cowboys making a making a real comeback, like no chance, honestly. Feels so preposterously unlikely to me. He has no athleticism left. Just no ability to move laterally. No ability to create explosive plays. He might, grit and grind his way to 13.2 points per game or something, but he's not going to be explosive. Last year on 798 post-draft teams, I had 37% of Xavier Worthy. So that is the most exposure I've ever had to one play. I think I had like $4,000 worth of Xavier Worthy teams. Sadly, Gray, it's not second year post ACL. It's third year post ACL for Javonte. Javonte did his ACL in 2022. It's now 2025. So year three for the ACL stuff for for old for old Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams had 191 touches last year and got 859 yards. Just so brutal, honestly. Let's just be real, man. He just did not play well. Turpin will have the longest rush for Dallas. I believe it. All right. Goddard is not an anti-correlated piece, really. Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, sure, whatever. I will take... Well... Sure, I'll take an ADP falling Jake Ferguson. I don't even feel strongly about that, but whatever. GM. Yes. Big game tonight. The Oklahoma City Thunder, game 1 against the Indiana Pacers. You know what? Here we go. J.K. Dobbins. They say that an old dog can't learn new tricks. There's me adjusting and learning a new trick. Javonte sucking so much feels so bullish for RJ Harvey. True. Dobbins is still only 26. I mean, he had juice in the tank last year. Yeah, he did. Dobbins did legitimately play pretty well last year, honestly. Yeah, 26. Yes, I am quite confident that Woody Marks is ahead of Dameon Pierce. Some kid that my wife works with said for high school graduation present he's going to finals game 1. I might try and go. I might try and go to game 5, or I might try and go to game 4, because Indianapolis is not that far away from St. Louis, Missouri. And my cousins also are probably going to go to at least one of the games down in Oklahoma City, so I might try. Yes. Yeah, Todd Gurley, younger than Derrick Henry. That's always a pretty good one. His knees just totally gave out on him. His knees just said, that's it. We're done. It's over. Yeah, I've done a golfing trip to Indianapolis. We played the Indianapolis Speedway course. What is it called? Bricktown. Brick something. No. Indianapolis is like a 3-hour drive, bro. 8-hour drive. Brickyard. Yes. Yeah, Brickyard. Very, very fun golf course. Well, yes, tickets will be very expensive, but how often does your favorite team play for a championship? Not very often, Jason. This might be the last time the Oklahoma City Thunder were in the finals was 13 years ago. I was a freaking child when Kendrick Perkins started at center for my favorite basketball team. What do we need more on this team? Let's do Woody Marks. Woody Marks was just in my head because someone just asked about him. Brickyard, yes, Brickyard Crossing. Yes. This is Sus is making he's making the same point that I was thinking in my head, that if Oklahoma City has a closeout game in Indianapolis, if it's game 4 and it's 3-0, the tickets are going to be so cheap. No one's going to want to go. This is always what people say. Barring an SG injury, you're going to have a lot of important playoff basketball in your future. That's what people say, and then you just truly never know what's going to happen. And let's just do another running back here. Let's do... Did Sampson already go? No, we'll do Dylan Sampson. Yes, I've seen the Kansas City Royals in 2 different World Series. One they won, one they lost, and incredibly pure memories. It was just at a great time in my life too, because I was in college. I was like living with my best friends. Really great. Again, this is what people say. Not to mention the draft picks, Thunder. This is what you say, but like literally, remember the Thunder were in the finals. These dudes were all like, what? Durant was 23. Harden was like, we didn't even know James Harden was good yet, basically. And it all blew up, man. It all blew up. They had 3 MVPs on one team and never made it back to the finals ever again. Yeah. Oh, Zoo Pals, buddy. I'm very sorry, but truly, those are some of my greatest memories. The Midwest Sonics. Yeah, I was just listening to the Zach Lowe podcast this morning, and he had Jeff Green on this morning to discuss playing the what was it? He was in Seattle. So Jeff Green and Kevin Durant are the only 2 guys left in the NBA who played for the Seattle Supersonics. Yes, Kyle Dvorak had one of the greatest tweets of all time. All 3 Saints tight ends had more fantasy points than Dalton Kincaid last year. God bless. All right. One more wide receiver. So definitely going to take Felton here with McCarthy. Interesting to see Neighbors and Kyron are paired up so much. Kyron, what would be the logical reason that Kyron Williams and Drake May would be heavily correlated together? Josh, they're not good. I like not terrible. I think I'm advancing 12% of my teams right now or whatever in the dinger. But I don't really know why. It's not, my exposures are not that bad. It's probably all pitchers. Yes, I will sauce you, sir. All right, we need one more pick. I need a Sidekick's not really wanting to give me a wide receiver. Let's do Elijah Moore. I read a hype piece on Elijah Moore yesterday, and it's not leaving me. The Elijah Moore, I gotta go find this. Oh, please let me find it. Tre'Davious White, here we go. Tre'Davious White, the Bills corner, said Tre'Davious White unprompted on new Bills wide receiver Elijah Moore. He's going to be a big-time player for us. Route running is amazing. Getting in and out of his breaks is amazing. So that was all I needed. As an Elijah Moore slappy, Elijah Moore is just Mac Hollins with shoes. Is that bullish? I can't tell. Is that bullish or is that not bullish? Feels bullish to me. Yes, a new contest did just drop. So I gotta go. I owe Aaron a sauce, but yes. The Greyhound, a $35 single entry, fast drafts only, $30K to first, only 6,360 entrants. Now let's go back and let's give our boy Aaron his rightful sauce. Here we go. Oh, I got to pull his comment up. Lil Sauce for the 4. A to the K, 81. CD Lamb, Jonathan Taylor, Josh. Wow, real boomer energy taking Josh Jacobs when you already have Jonathan Taylor. Devonta Smith, but then you just non-wave Jalen Hurts. You say correlation? That's for bums. I don't do what YouTubers tell me to do. I'm not correlating my picks. Deebo Samuel, you must have not watched the highly informative video with myself and one Mr. Buck St. Thomas about the range of outcomes. Or maybe you sided with Buck, which frankly is worse. Stephon Diggs. What takes place on a boat is between Stephon Diggs and God, not between Stephon Diggs and the New England Patriots. Michael Pittman Jr., maybe his back isn't broken this year. Luther Burden, surely having your hamstring injured at organized team activities is no big deal. Travis Etienne Jr., surely being the most washed running back in the entire National Football League last year is no big deal. Dak Prescott, fine. Jordan Love, maybe this will be the year that the Green Bay Packers are not 31st in the NFL in pass rate over expectation. Rachaad White, it was so fun to draft Rachaad White last year that Aaron is just going to do it again. Braylon Allen, still not old enough to drink a beer. Hunter Henry, Pat Freiermuth, Juwan Johnson, just a Spider-Man meme. Just Spider-Man memeing. Every time I see Pat Freiermuth and Hunter Henry go together, I'm like, wow. Where do you get your ideas to draft your tight ends? And then if I can just be serious for a moment, absolutely no reason to take Daniel Jones on this team. You should have taken another running back. Yeah, Daniel Jones instead of another running back there. I want to believe. I want to believe. Favorite afternoon Major League Baseball stack? Twins are too chalky. The Toronto Blue Jays. Jets drop bombs 15. Charlie said yes. Where I gotta find Charlie's comment. Yes, let's do so in the lobby there is the extender. Let's go do this right now. Let's do Shea 1.5 3-pointers. Do we have a half three? We do not have a half 3-pointer for Chet. Let's do Miles Turner, higher than 5.5 rebounds. What's the steals line? Yeah, 1.5 steals for Caruso. And what do we... So Neesmith is tricky. Do we think that Neesmith's ankle is healthy? Because if we think Neesmith's ankle is healthy, 1.5 3-pointers is really good. But it's just like his minutes, I don't know. Look at that minute distinction. I think I'm gonna do it. I think it seems like his ankle's probably fine. He's had 8 days. He should be fine. All right, we need a fifth. Saber wants. Here's the thing. My boys are coming up from Kansas City. I've got a golfing weekend this weekend. Life is too short to take unders with the extender. We'll do here. I'll mix these two, Nick and Soups. I will mix these two, and we will do. Where's Hartenstein? Can I do? We'll do. How many minutes was he getting in the end? So here's my one concern with taking Hartenstein. Oklahoma City might just go one big, and Chet is actually, you know what? Sure, Nick, you win. You win. We're gonna take. Well, can I slide this? Can I slide it down? Yeah, I'm going to slide it down because we have the boost. There you go. Here is the extender play for this evening. And we have like 15 minutes to kill before Herzig gets here anyway. NBA Finals Game 1 extender play. I'm hoping these games are great, honestly. I have high expectations. I have high hopes. Well, I just did the first extender. Man, they have a gimme pick. We are chilling right now. They're giving me all kinds of deals in the underdog lobby. Yes. Did you guys watch this last night? Game 1 of the NBA Finals last night, or of the NHL Finals. It was an awesome game. You know what? This is what we'll do. Let's just you guys ask me any question about exposures or teams right now for the next 14 minutes while we wait for Herzig, and we could do that, or I'll just answer any questions you guys have. But I don't have enough time to hop into another draft. Exposure and old team check. Here's a funny one, actually. Let's there we go. Egbuka 9.6%. Yes, the Oilers power play is crazy stuff. Mike Evans. A lot of 8%ers here. Oh, Judy's going to be really low. Judy I don't like. Yeah, 6.7. Swift 7.3. Mason I'm going to have a lot of. Yeah, 12.9%. What's one team you expect to score more points than last year? You know what? That's actually a really good question. One team I expect to score more points this year than they did last year. And I'm not going to say the Kansas City Chiefs, who sucked. You know what? All right, hot take. Incredibly hot take. The Minnesota Vikings last season, despite being super efficient, only scored 432 points. That was fewer points than the Packers, fewer points than the Commanders, fewer points than the Buccaneers. I think the Minnesota Vikings score more points. The Minnesota... Oh, Raiders is a good one, but Vikings. Wow, Peter does not like Jordan Mason. Peter says, Jordan Mason, that guy stinks. Can't say that I agree. It feels like it's becoming more and more likely Shedeur will be the starter down the stretch. Kind of that I agree with. I just feels like Shedeur is probably better than Dylan Gabriel, and what's the point of playing Flacco? Ever heard of Terry McLaurin? All right, let's go. Drafts completed. It's first Best Ball Mania team. Very first. Was this the first one? Oh, no, this wasn't the first one. Here we go. Stream number 1. First team I drafted. Let's check the board. This is not even that long ago. All right. How did we... Let's look at the board. All right. Gibbs at 5. A-Chain at 20 you can't really get anymore. Chase Brown. Worthy at 44. Hunter at 53. Jennings at 68. So Hunter you can't get at 53 anymore, obviously. Worthy, I guess you could still theoretically get. You could definitely get Worthy at 44. Golden you can still get at 77. Fields, Jonnu, Purdy. These are actually all pretty straightforward. Not a ton of CLV. CLV on Jayden Blue. It was early on Diami. Yeah, pretty normal team, honestly. Not like a couple things, but there's not anything like too crazy there. Yes, I did do like 2 or 3 opening day Superflex drafts. Oh, maybe more. All right. The C in CLV stands for June 5th. Don't let Easy see this tweet, John. Nick Chubb at pick 216. All right, someone asked how much Golden and Reed I have. I'm actually kind of curious in that. How much Golden and Reed do I have? Golden, 15.6%. Reed, 8.9%. I've not done that many Superflex puppies. How many have I done? Oh, you have to go. It's like a whole different contest. So I've done 13. Well, I take 80 Mitchell every time. Jalen Milrow, 53%. Dart, Flacco. Yeah, it's all dust balls. All my all my high quarterback exposures are dust balls. Daniel Jones, Mason Rudolph, all those guys. No, this is Nick. No, Golden is the man. Stay hip to Mr. Golden. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. Well, a big fantasy fan of Trevor Lawrence. There's probably no reason to think that he's like really going to turn it around as a NFL quarterback, but I think he's in a good spot for fantasy. All right, let's go. I have not looked at any of these. Okay. How much elite quarterback in Best Ball Mania? Like probably none. Josh Allen, 3.9%. Lamar, 2.2%. Jayden Daniels, 7.8%. Hurts, 6.7%. Burrow, 2.2%. Joe Burrow. Anthony Richardson dealing with a shoulder injury. Oh, here we go. Here's the man. Here's the man, the myth, the legend himself. Breaking news. Anthony Richardson dealing with a shoulder injury.
Let's go draft a puppy Superflex and take Daniel Jones in the 4th.
I already have been taking him in the super. He the day it opened, Daniel Jones was the best pick on the board.
What was his ADP then?
The day it opened, he didn't have one.
Okay. Well, the fake ADP. Yeah. It's always what is that next day's ADP? But yeah, 114 right now. Let me see what I've been doing a bunch of these Superflex. They're just so fun.
They are so fun. Here we go. From the horse's mouth. Colts head coach Shane Steichen said Anthony Richardson is dealing with a shoulder injury and will not participate in minicamp next week. I mean, that's just got to be it, right? Like, it's just over.
That's not consistent.
Like, how is Anthony Richardson, who's in a quarterback competition with a quarterback who is objectively terrible, it's not good. It's not good for our boy Anthony Richardson.
Let me spin around. Okay. Yeah, but now Anthony Richardson is going to be playing in week 17 because Daniel Jones is obviously going to get benched.
It almost happened for Justin Fields last year. It was really close to happening for Justin Fields last year to play really well, get benched, and then Russell Wilson almost played bad enough. He didn't quite, but he almost played bad enough. It was pretty close.
The real takeaway here for like not Superflex, like for normal stuff, is just Michael Pittman, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, because of the Daniel Jones, just like those underneath kind of shorter, maybe longer drives. especially if you're playing on those other sites that have PPR. Yeah.
I think I'm legit just going to delete Anthony Richardson from my rankings. What's the point?
Well, now follow up. When are you actually willing to take him after this news?
I mean, he's around 18. Like if I'm totally in jail, it's the same thing as taking Shuck or Russell Wilson or whatever.
Okay. Well, I think Shuck gets a little more credibility because he's probably going to play every game.
He's probably going to play. Yeah.
I would still take Anthony Richardson above Russell Wilson. I like legitimately now, I think, around 17, 18.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he is now, I think it would have been a defensible position to say Anthony Richardson scores like 21 fantasy points per start. I am only going to win Best Ball Mania once out of every 1,000,000 lifetimes. Let's just try and embrace variance as much as possible. And now I don't think that is a defensible spot anymore. I think that is like actually just being too risk unsensitive, too risk tolerant. I think
the value of a roster spot is just too great in 18 round formats that like it's really hard to take a QB 0 because we're saying, I mean, it's tough because it's like, okay, so it's got to be a 3 QB build because you can't afford to do a 2 QB and take that 0 for him. But also now, if you're making a bet that Anthony Richardson actually plays a bunch, you don't want it to be on a 3 QB team. You wanted it to be on a 2 QB team because now you're getting that mid-round extra roster spot. Like, I still think like DraftKings, he makes a lot more sense because now you can go a 3 QB build and you're not costing that roster spot. And especially if he's going to go like 17th, 18th there. Yeah, this is bad. I think Leone put on an Underdog tweet that he's going to be the biggest riser.
I was going to say, I did literally just see before we started that Leone tweeted at Hayden yesterday and said Richardson is going to be the highest ADP riser. And I think we can safely say that's not going to happen.
Which, hey, sharp. I was going to say Jackson Dart until I realized this was hypothetical and I don't think he's actually giving away a year's supply of Chipotle. But still, I think like Jackson Dart finds out he's going to start week 1, then you have the biggest rise. I get Leone's process. I think it was sharp, but it's funny how quickly that turned out.
I mean, look, if I'm totally wrong about this and Richardson comes back from this shoulder thing and is awesome and Shane Steichen, can't stop being effusive in his praise of how awesome Anthony Richardson is, then I reserve the right to change my mind. But yeah, it's bullish for Downs. It's bullish for Pittman. Bullish for one of my favorite round 18 clicks that I bet you're out on, AD Mitchell.
I don't have any of them.
Yeah, you're more of an Alec Pierce guy.
Well, yeah. Okay, I liked Alec Pierce more with Anthony Richardson because they actually had a bit of a connection and Anthony Richardson's willing to sling it. I don't love Alec Pierce with the Daniel Jones side of things. I do love the Pittman and the Downs. Also, when Crack Rock tweets something about Daniel Jones, which is going to happen during this stream, 100 fantasy points for whoever posted in here.
Yeah, that is mortal lock. If your sportsbook is offering that at minus 10,000, I encourage you to take it because you'd pick up $1 off the street. Let's go draft a 30-second per pick Best Ball Mania contest, and we're just gonna, it's like I'm here drafting a team with David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, just a legend. The cover of Rolling Stone. Justin, did your wife think that was cool?
She hated that I submitted a picture with her in it. To be in the article. She was confused, I think, early on. It was probably like a 6-month process from like when it originated all the way through. We talked on the phone each week for a little more than a month. Then he flew down for week 17 to get the sweat. Then there was, follow-up conversations, photo shoot, all that. So I think early on, she went from just really confused to why do I have to be interviewed as part of this? I can't believe this, to they wanted like a picture of like when an early event. And I think the first live final I went to was Draft's live final in Nashville when Roto Grinders like co-hosted a party. And so she was in that picture and she was just like, yeah, fine, you can submit it. I hate you, Justin. But yeah.
That's so good. Wives being annoyed by their spouse's fantasy football habit, no matter how successful they are at it. Tale as old as time.
Literally the first line of the article is Ariel is a normal person. And then it talks about that she doesn't like gluten. Yeah, Bijan's great. She's
Who
like,
does like gluten? Who needs it?
Yeah, I think it said it was like 3 things about her. She works in tech, she doesn't like gluten, and I don't know, something else. But yeah, this is ridiculous.
She's like, I don't need to be. I don't. And also, yeah, fair point. Having a wife / girlfriend is non-representative, actually, of the larger best ball community. That is, you are making a good point. It did also call your friends civilians, which I thought was a good bit. That's incredibly good content. I might start referring to my friends as civilians. Actually, these people who actually have to get up and work every day. Yeah, skin to skin with the baby while drafting, also peak. Yeah.
I mean, hey, getting the opportunity to have a lot of my family like in the article, in those pictures, friends and such, I thought that was pretty cool too. And then obviously Riley, who is now not even 5 months old, but at the time was like a day or 2 for that picture. Yeah, that was cool. That's
pretty gnarly. What's your drafting schedule been like thus far? How many BBMs are you in?
I have not done many BBMs. I did a few the first day, and then I'm just hammering every other contest. That kind of like, let's see. I'm pulling up from an underdog standpoint. I've done 53 puppies, 10 schnauzers, 5 hound dogs, 3 pugs, another 51 super flex, 11 eliminators. So like sprinkling a bunch, but I've been vocal about it. For me, I like to hold on to majority of my best ball Manias until August. I just think for someone, like you, who is living and breathing like so much of this information, for us specifically, our edge is just the information side of things, and there's more of that in August.
Tough. I mean, I just knock them out when I can. Yeah. Are you doing a lot on DraftKings? Are you doing like just hammering them over? Because they have a bunch of side contests.
Yeah, I love those time box ones. Yeah. No, I've pretty much not maxed, but done a bunch of the side contests. I don't know what my August is going to be like. Also, because like I have the baby, I've been doing a lot more of those kind of $5 and $10 ones where I've mentally said, if I need to prioritize the baby, I will just not draft the rest of this draft. Like if I have to,
I mean, you have ranks, you have ranks and positional limits set in there, so
yeah,
it can figure it out. Yeah.
So if you see something really just ridiculous like Looney on a draft, it's probably because I had to go to the baby.
Do you, in the first round, do you give any thought to not taking Barkley, Bijan, whatever, just because the running backs at 21 and 28 are so much stronger than the wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I put out that tweet with regards to, because I had a feeling where it was going to go, but it was with who would you rather take in the first round, like Jefferson or Barkley?
The 2v2s.
Yeah, and it's not even close like you rather. So yeah, I had so much more Jefferson than I think just about everything. Yeah, it's basically Davis 2.0 in 2025. But
except drafting running backs who are projected for points instead of running backs who are projected for no points.
Yeah, it's tough too because I'm not on the elite tight end bandwagon. So like for the people that are, Trey McBride is a great one to pair with if you grab.
If you start Bijan, Trey McBride, I feel like you just can never score enough wide receiver points. It's just tough. It's too tough.
I just think those 2 tight ends are just too expensive for what you're getting in this format, and I'm not willing to jump into the Twitter discourse of it because there's enough smart people on both sides arguing good points. But for me personally.
Okay, what if we get Bowers? John Galt is going to take him, but if we got Bowers at 21, I'd be smashing it.
Agreed. And now, but I'm doing it because of the combinatorial aspect and the uniqueness of that combo. I actually think from a value projection, Bowers in that spot isn't actually a great pick even at this price. It's probably now more fun.
Really?
There you go.
JT, McBride. I don't care.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison.
I do think there's a bit of a tier there for T. And you know what? And now Trey McBride falls back to us, and now we're getting him that third, and you're then getting that correlation with the week 17. It won't happen because Star Fox would take him, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, many people not realizing Underdog is actually tight end premium. Actually, Underdog is like specifically terrible for tight ends because tight ends tend to score fewer touchdowns. Like elite tight ends outside of Gronk and Graham have historically done it like receptions based. They just rack up receptions. That's definitely true of Bowers, and it's definitely true of McBride, which is like uniquely bad, actually for this format. Like, and I know it's kind of noisy, but I also kind of believe it.
Tight end touchdowns are also not sticky year over year. In general, touchdowns aren't that sticky, but like the production and the target share, those are sticky. And for those from receptions, those are more valuable on a site like DraftKings Drafters.
Garrett Wilson, Chase Brown, Reed.
Yeah, I would take we definitely need a wide receiver here, and Garrett Wilson feels right. Okay,
are you pro? I am pro Garrett Wilson. I have Garrett Wilson ranked a little bit ahead of ADP. I've got like 15% of him. And I was out on Garrett Wilson as a first round pick last year. I think like the idea of him going behind Terry McLaurin, no disrespect, actually disrespect intended to Terry McLaurin. He's like way better. He's like actually really good. And I think it's totally fine to have Fields as your quarterback if your wide receiver 2 is Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's going to be second in that team in targets?
Brees.
Mason Taylor?
Brees.
Yeah, I don't know. Keenan Allen?
Yeah, Keenan Allen, maybe, although I don't think Keenan Allen probably doesn't want to pay for a bad team in cold weather. No, I bet Keenan Allen's top wish list is somewhere nice and warm, and his second wish list is someone who's any good or at all.
If it was, Amari would actually make more sense from the Jets standpoint, like as a player perspective. But I also think Amari Cooper's just done with, like, he's gone the Will Fuller route.
I did some bad pattern matching in a draft last night. I was like, oh, J.K. Dobbins just went out to dinner with the Denver Broncos, so that means all the other old guys are about to sign. And I did a round 18 Amari Cooper last night.
That's FOMO. That was just pure FOMO. I've been taking some Keenan Allen, especially in Superflex, where he's going like 190, and you just look at all he needs to do is sign. Yeah,
I've got him ranked 222. I think 222 is probably more than fair for a guy who I can see also just not playing anymore. He also, the funny thing about Keenan is everyone kind of remembers that he went on a good little run at the end of last year in terms of fantasy, but his like per route of like all of his like ESPN open score, it was all way worse. So like, it's actually not inconceivable to me that he is just as done as Amari is and some team, and he just, the comp in my head is Allen Robinson, who went 102 receptions, 1,100 yards 1 year in Chicago, and then never topped 400 yards again for the rest of his career.
I think the difference is we've seen offenses for so many years being built around Keenan Allen. Yeah, I don't expect that to happen, especially since he hasn't signed. But mid-season, like he's on a team and there's an injury or something, you could see that Adam Thielen type usage. Again, I don't have. You
could definitely see him Thielening. Damn, JMO went. I thought we'd get into an argument there. What do you want to do here?
I don't mind James Cook here. Actually, let's go Devontae Smith, and we might be able to get Jalen Hurts if they come back.
I'm kind of partial to take sometimes at that 4.9, 4.10, 4.11 spot. I'm kind of partial to taking Kittle ahead of ADP and just saying, I don't actually care about, like, for me, I think the group from Devonta Smith all the way to Pickens, I think is all kind of basically the same. But Kittle, I think there's like a huge gap between George Kittle and Laporta, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I haven't been taking much Laporta. I think Kittle's fine because I also like Brock Purdy. I would say I do think like we have recency bias of what Kittle did last year, but we need to remember like this team is very different. Like McCaffrey's going to be healthy again. That takes a lot of the offense. We then have like a healthy Pearsall, maybe a healthy Ayuk, then the Jennings resurrection. Like, I just don't see the offense running through Kittle. I think he still has that spike week potential, but I think his usage was a little more what we're thinking about last year than going forward. So as I said, I'm still taking, yeah, there you go. Perfect.
So I agree with part of what you said. I think that it's all CMC based. If CMC is not CMC anymore, or if he is injured, Kittle could actually at age 31 have his best fantasy season ever. But I think I view the 49ers wide receiver group as like almost a total mystery box, because you've got Pearsall. And before I say anything, Pearsall I think is my most drafted wide receiver right now, but he was a bad prospect. He got shot. He had a run of 6 games where he had max 1 reception. It was 4 games with 0 receptions. And
you're telling us why you are drafting him or not? I'm really confused.
No, I'm getting there. Then he had the 1 good game in a game that didn't matter at all, right? But then the way they treated their roster this offseason, it was like, oh, we're good, actually, right? Jennings had already signed the contract extension. They let Debo go. The only wide receiver they brought in was like a total sacrificial X who basically plays an entirely different position than Pearsall does. I think their moves this offseason indicated to me they actually think Purdy and Pearsall are like, they're good with that as like the basis of their next good team after CMC, Kittle, and Ayuk age out. But it's not going to surprise me if Pearsall's terrible, and it's also not going to surprise me if Ayuk's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think back. Like, what was the 49ers season last year with regards to injuries? Obviously, we had the Pearsall situation at the beginning, and then just like
everyone died.
Right.
The offensive line died. They all died.
And Kittle had a good, the offensive, and Kittle had a good season, but obviously it wasn't elite. Like, I'm trying to think, how did we go from last year to this year and expect more out of Kittle? I just think like he still has probably, weekly tight end 1 upside. But I'm just trying to wrap my head around like him being, because some people are just saying like, hey, he's the absolute smash pick. I want to take him above ADP every draft, all that stuff.
What happened is that, I mean, basically it's who is Juwan Jennings, this year 4 breakout, like he stinks. Kittle's Ayuk is hurt, and also they wanted to trade him immediately after signing him to a contract extension, so that seems weird. And Pearsall might just be bad, and CMC might just be done. Kittle is the only combo of healthy right now, played well last year, and people just like him.
Juwan Jennings fits those two. Played well last year, healthy.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a 49ers wide receiver in like every draft right now. Honestly, I think
that's a solid. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, we are about up. This is a nice little. I think we just take Rome.
Yeah, I don't have any disagreement with that.
It's like a 5, or we could take Connor if you're feeling weak in the knees about running back.
I was looking at the running backs, but I think Rome here, and then like it also like Kaleb would be it's a little too much capital. I'm trying to think of who our QB2 is going to be. We haven't really given that option yet, but I'm good with Rome and hope we can get a running back. I might have you draft someone that you're not drafting much with this next pick if they're still there.
Oh, dude, I mean, I take like 8.2% of every
not
player.
This guy,
I've gone
full. You have less than 2% of the guy I'm about to recommend.
Oh God. All right. Well, that'll be
right.
That's tough.
There was 3.3%. It was Dave Montgomery. I remember you said it on a recent
the only reason why I'm lighter on him is because I do draft off my rankings, and I have Kaleb Johnson ranked ahead of him. Kaleb Johnson, I think, it just feels like he is so destined for a 330 touch season. And I don't know if it happens this year or next year, but I feel like that's not, oh, damn, I really wanted Matthew Golden on this team. All right, we're up, and Kaleb Johnson goes, so we're tilting now.
I probably would go DeAndre Swift here.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. We
need the running back. We're continuing to get good news. Pat Thorman was, tweeting about it as well. But yeah, every time J.K. Dobbins says something else, like every time we don't hear Chicago bring someone else in, like that's a major positive for DeAndre.
Yes. Yeah. And frankly, no disrespect intended to an all-time great, but Chubb is not. I don't really care. I think if they sign Chubb, it's Dobbins is the one that I was more worried about.
Yeah, I'd be perfect. I don't think Chubb hurts Swift. Chubb obviously kills
Roshan.
Chubb hurts Roshan. Maybe he doesn't even kill Roshan.
Maybe
Roshan
he doesn't even kill Roshan.
Yeah.
Well, better. It just means that Roshan is like the double handcuff, right? He plays some if Swift goes out. This is how dark I've fallen, Herzig. Roshan Johnson is my most drafted player this year.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a late pick, so it can't be that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Yeah.
I mean, he's not a very good player, but he's on an offense that I expect to be. I mean, if I could make one structural bet this year, it's that I think the Chicago Bears will be much better. That Caleb Williams will play much better. That Ben Johnson is actually as good as everyone says he was, and Roshan gets goal line work and third downs. It's like he gives DeAndre Swift all the other stuff. But yes, he is. If Samaj P. Ryan finds his way onto the Bears roster by week 3, I'm gonna have a really bad time. Yeah.
All right. Let's do the Kaleb Johnson one. This will be a fun ChatGPT exercise for you later. But
okay.
What do you think the success rate, and we'll just call success like having a good rookie season or having a good finishing to the rookie season for third round running backs are in, say, the past 15 years?
I mean, I can't actually conjure up any examples. I would assume that the third round bit is actually quite noisy and that the finishes between third, fourth, and fifth round picks, there's almost no distinction between them at running back. I'd guess there are last 15 years. I can run a stat head filter. I would guess there are 20 instances of 15 plus points per game seasons for third round running backs.
Yeah, I don't know total, but it comes out to around 15%, 15 to 20% of success. And now a lot of these are names that you actually be like, oh, that's a smash. But
right.
It took them
a long time.
Yeah. And I was going through that. And now I don't think this is a reason not to draft Kaleb Johnson, because there are some reasons to believe that he's not going to be, he's more likely to be in that 20% coach speak, role, team, all that such. But we're also drafting him because if we do hit, there's a chance that Kaleb Johnson should actually be like a third rounder next year or something. Where I've taken that is Jaylen Warren is probably my most drafted running back right now, because for those 80% of outcomes, Jaylen Warren not only has maybe he doesn't have the, a third round upside, second round upside, but for where he's being drafted, I think he's a screaming value. And so Jaylen Warren's my highest and Kaleb Johnson is one of my lower end ones.
I'll tell you what, one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable with Kaleb Johnson is I have just watched Jaylen Warren be the best running back on his team for a long time, extending back to Oklahoma State, and then just seeing his coaches just have no interest in valuing him. Now we're in an interesting spot. Do we do our third Bear? Do we do an unstacked quarterback? Do we take a tight end? What do you want to do here?
I would put Downs in the queue, especially with the information that we just got. And I'd be pretty happy with this.
Yeah. I think Downs is good. All right. Let me share this to this tab. All right. So this is single seasons sorted by PPR points per game. Regular season, player was drafted in round 3, rushing attempts over 100. And it's actually a pretty interesting list. It's got some of the biggest hits in fantasy history, right? So we've got David Johnson, Jamal Charles. I didn't filter this by rookie season. Let me
I was going to say, because the Kamara one, he was a great example where it didn't work in the rookie season. I think that was with Mark Ingram.
Yes.
But then year 2 or so, he smashed.
Biographical filter, year of player's career. First. What do you want to do? What's our strategy element with this pick? Because we're in the quarterback window. Caleb Williams went, which is
and so did
pretty,
Fields, who's our other stack partner. But we've got Jalen Hurts. I think we need to grab running backs.
Well, there is. I wonder if we will agree. I would have been happy to take Jalen Warren to acquiesce there.
I think honestly that'd have been a reach for me, but yeah, but I would take Jordan Mason happily.
Jordan Mason, okay, there we go. You like Scadaboo here?
I would go Mason ahead of him, I think.
Yeah, Mason is oh come on, don't take him, Joe Donnell 7-4. Mason is one of the guys I just like. I don't know, how do you lose at this cost? Let's do Mason. Yeah, Mason just feels like, maybe if Aaron Jones stays healthy the whole year, he's not going to be like a league winner, but he can still have 4 spike weeks in a year where Aaron Jones stays healthy. He could score 9 touchdowns.
I'm seeing in chat Artillery saying Kamara had 13 and 15 his rookie year. I thought it was his sophomore. I'm trying to see.
I don't think I think that's not true. Oh, here I clicked the wrong. I have it pulled up. I clicked. He might have,
and maybe I was just confusing some players, but yeah.
All right, so we got Jordan Mason. Happy to do that. Some of the really crazy years.
Yeah, he had a really good strong. Okay, so he was one of the ones, and he finished rookie of the year. So yeah, he was one of the ones that did hit, I believe. Yeah.
These are seasons with over 15 points per game. Third round rookies: Kamara, Hunt, A-Chain, Antonio Gibson, David Johnson. Some guys who got close: Devin Singletary, Trey Mason, DeMarco Murray, David Montgomery, Duke Johnson, Brian Robinson Jr., Jerick McKinnon. What's funny is some of these guys, their points per game is actually messed up because it's guys who didn't start at all to play the year, right? Madison, Zach Moss, Matt Jones, who I actually don't even remember, Tajay Spears, a bunch of guys who were like the third running back to start the year and then saddled up over the course of the year.
What I did is I took a look at the season stats, and then I also isolated for week 17. And I basically bucketed to say, like, hey, did you have a successful full season or did you have a successful week 17? And trying to do a success rate based off that. The Kareem Hunt was a smash, but also that's when Spencer Ware, I think he tore an ACL or had a major injury in preseason. And then Kareem Hunt fumbled on the very first play and then ran for like 250 yards or something in that first game.
In that game. Yeah. Oh, man.
I had a 201 rookie of the year ticket on him. Remember that? Yeah.
Boy, does that take me back.
Not rookie of the year. I think it was leading rushing yards. Yeah.
The long sordid history of the Kansas City Chiefs backfield. They've had 0 years with the normal backfield in the Mahomes era. Just never once has it just been, yep, this guy's our starter and we're starting him and he's the starter. Not even the first Clyde year. That was when we got the McKinnon experience. Just
Damian Williams. Brutal. Damian Williams was kind of like the most predictive. I don't know. I'm trying to think across the season.
Pretty big ADP value here on Mark Andrews. I'd be happy to take him. Or do you think we need a running back?
I'm good with that. No, I think we can go Andrews for the value and position of need. And then there's a couple different running backs here that I would want to grab before there's a teardrop.
So the Damian Williams thing is funny because the year he was awesome was not a year he was drafted. The year he got drafted high was the Darrell Williams year. Just truly, like I would consider the Chiefs running back position kind of like the professor of the dark arts. Like it just, something about it is cursed and it just never doesn't quite work out. So now that we have Hurts, like we don't really care about our second quarterback, right? Like we're fine to take
Daniel Jones,
Bryce Young, Daniel Jones. Yeah. Whatever. But like if
I want to stack it, but we don't need to spend a lot.
Yeah. I'm fine to take like Drake May or CJ Stroud with one of these. Okay. Drake May went. All right. We're up.
I'd go Ramondre, I think.
Ramondre. That works. Can I sell you on Jayden Blue? Probably not.
I mean, I know like Short King, but like
He's the Rico. He's the Rico Dowdle.
But he's not, like, player-wise. I don't know. I mean, like, I think he's, if anything, more like a little bigger Deuce Vaughn. I don't know.
Well, if you're betting on him, you're hoping that he's like A-Chain.
Yeah. But A-Chain in college was still like a much better rusher.
Yeah, Jayden
right?
Blue. Oh yeah, Jayden Blue is awful in college. He basically had like 2 good games.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes, right? Dalton Kincaid is on year 3 of I guess year 4 of 1 good game against USC. The reason why I like taking Blue is he at least has 1 skill, right? He's got the elite speed. I look at Javonte Williams and I go, what is your skill? Javonte Williams' skill is no different than Hunter Lupke's skill.
When's the last time the Cowboys prioritized speed at running back?
Well, they drafted a lot is the thing. They draft speed, right? They drafted Pollard, who was a 4.3 guy. They drafted Turpin. They drafted Turpin despite Turpin being kicked out of TCU for like 3 different legal violations. They drafted Blue. They prioritize speed and team building, but the coaching staff doesn't always.
Interesting.
But
yeah, Blue, I'm just thinking of like the running backs we've seen since like Zeke, and I mean obviously Zeke was a phenomenal prospect. Can't say anything bad about that. But then since him, it seems like all their running backs, like they haven't tried to have that lightning player.
No, I mean, look, if you wanted to make the case for Phil Maffa, I would hear it probably.
Yeah. I'm rarely going to make a round 6, round 7 running back case.
Are you taking Miles Sanders? Are you taking Javonte? Or are you just taking none of them?
No, very little Javonte. Decent amount of Miles Sanders, especially on 20 round such.
I have no issue. I have no issue with taking Miles Sanders. I think he's just like probably a good pick, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like it's another one of those things that if you are drafting now, and you're trying to get a running back in the 18th, you're already taking on a certain level of risk. And so if you do need a running back at that place, like sure, he has the clearest path to actual startability out of any running back in that position. His upside is capped because of his talent, probably. But even then, as a running back, your upside can just be being the starter. So like, yeah, I like him.
The one thing that does make the Cowboys backfield slightly more valuable to me than like the comparison people are bringing up is the Broncos backfield from last year, where they all ended up being useless. I think it's really unlikely that they chop up the playing time that way. I think it's like pretty likely that one of these guys is getting like 68% of the snaps with like some degree of frequency. But it might not matter. Like, don't get me wrong. Like at the end of the day, it might not matter.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, but I think it's 60-70% on a game by game basis. That might switch up so much. Yeah. No, I think that's definitely fair. I mean, honestly, the fact that it didn't work out for any of the Broncos running backs, given what we knew about Bo Nix, given what we knew about like Sean Payton, the usage of running backs, it's honestly shocking.
Yeah. Goddard, right? What's
the buy? I was just looking for the buy. 7 and 9, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, we'll go with that.
Goddard feels like a Herzig player, just like super undervalued, always gets about 8.7 points per game. People are just bored with him.
On and off. I mean, yeah, if I was to say like, hey, why is he a Herzig player? I think he's attached to a very powerful offense and you've hammered this a bunch, but if they just throw a little more, if that defense is a little worse, if Saquon doesn't break as many runs, like if we can just get those Jalen Hurts pass attempts up, Dallas Goedert is the number 3 in that offense. It's just feels like a very good median with decent weekly upside because of the touchdowns play.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all he's got to do. It's like if he just runs like kind of hot on touchdowns, they run like imagine if they run 2 throwing plays from the 3-yard line that would have been tush pushes, you know?
Yeah, and like Nick, you asked me, like,
obvious.
does Goddard really have upside? As a tight end, you don't need that much to have upside. Like, all you need, especially underdog, are touchdowns. And so, yeah, could he very easily end up with like an 8 touchdown, 10 touchdown season if Jalen Hurts throws 20% more and gets back to even anywhere near league average? Like, yeah, but a lot of it is the system things. It just, yeah. I mean, compare that to other tight ends going around him.
So we could take Leggett to add another stacking option. We could take Thielen to add another stacking option. I probably like any of these running backs better, but I am all ears.
For me, it's the running backs available now are substantially better than what we'll have next. Like, and so these better. Are guys, yeah. So I'd probably have gone like Tyler Algier here, but I'm okay with the Grendo from an ADP standpoint. Grendo does give us that week 17.
We have Bijan, so let's do Grendo.
Oh,
not that
there you go.
Not that you can, like, I think, I don't know, if you assume 8% of your teams have Bijan, if 10% of the time on those 8% you take Algier, I actually think that's probably fine, or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a dual running back room that I'm targeting, but as you said, like, if you're getting it at value, also, like, if you probably have maybe some Rams and you're thinking of a week 17 thing, and
yeah. I'm curious, actually, your thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars backfield. It's very contentious. I think I rank, in order of preference at cost, I rank them Tootin, Bigsby, ETN, but I take all of them.
I think Tootin's too expensive for the risk that he is, and we're just slapping the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'm happy. I have not lost all my slappy proclivities.
That said, I don't want to not have Tootin. So from my Best Ball Mania standpoint, I'm like, I mean, he's going to drop, right? Like, he's going to drop. Like, Leone tells me he's going to drop. He's going to drop. I'll be able to get him a little later. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I think his profile from an upside probably, surpasses any player that's being drafted after him. But like, also, there's guys that are right now going around him that I'd rather have. I'd rather have Charbonnet. I'd rather have, looking in this draft, I think he went at a fine point. But I just can't get him above like that Sharbs, Tracy, Scatabo group right now.
Yeah. I think
ETN's actually a fine pick too. I don't love it, but I think there's a very easy story you can tell yourself that he was maybe a little hurt last year, that he is just the highest from a draft capital. And if you are just the starter in that offense, then you've got paths to success because of Liam Cohen.
Like, if Liam Cohen decides it's fine, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Liam Cohen decides like, ETN, whatever, it's fine. I mean, a lot of fantasy football streamers are going to be crying into their pillows at night. But I mean, look, it's the same thing as the Cowboy stuff. Like, if they decide Javante's fine, if they decide that Miles Sanders is fine, there's nothing you or I that's going to say to convince them that it's not. Like,
but that's a good comparison though, because Javonte and those guys, ETN and Tootin, are all going around in the same spot. I think that whoever wins the Jacksonville backfield though is going to have a lot better just projection and upside than whoever wins the Cowboys backfield. And so I think that's the kind of difference that people should be considering.
That is definitely true. I mean, particularly like if we get like real clear indications, like if, I don't know, I can't think of a Jaguars beat writer off the top of my head, but if they're like, Tootin's having this awful camp, LaQuint Allen might make the team over him, ETN looks reinvigorated, he seems healthy, him and Trevor Lawrence have this connection, then that's a spot where I'm like, I think that it's such a win that I think we need to be buying there. All right, we are back up. Wide receiver by ADP, Noel, Thielen, Wandale, Pat Bryant, Michael Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins.
Assuming
Douglas,
Bryce Young's already drafted, right?
No, Bryce is right there. And I think we should definitely take him.
And then you can star him now. It's not our turn yet. We have time. Okay. Is Leggett still available? I'm just trying to think through.
Leggett went, but Thielen's there.
We could do
Cam Ward, and there's always a Titans receiver available.
You want to grab Thielen and think we can get Bryce Young later, and if we can't, it's still not a bad pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to take old man Thielen as wide receiver 6.
Star Fox is the one we're more worried about. The other two I don't have concern.
Yeah, this guy has 3 quarterbacks. This guy has 2. This
His
guy,
decent.
he might double tap Bryce Young and Cam Ward actually, which would not be great for us. Are you doing much? Are you doing much Cam Ward?
Yeah, no, I like Cam Ward. I'm drafting a decent amount of Calvin Ridley, so that works better for me. Because I don't know, I just don't want to be taking the Tyler Lockett.
All right, he saved Bryce Young for us, I think.
There you go. All right, I like that.
Shout out. Oh,
no, what?
Oh, that's pretty.
Did he take
that's pretty.
No.
No. Okay, we're okay. All right.
Now let it go. We got Jalen Hurts. Let's grab something else. Show me a fun wide receiver you like. Okay.
Coker,
what about a running back? We still
Lockett.
need one more running back.
Let's take Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright. All right. Cool.
Jalen Wright, I really like.
Okay.
All right. I mean,
could
famously,
I have convinced you to do Shipley here instead with the Eagles?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Shipley and Hurts have to be like insanely positively correlated. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
A little Barkley injury, and then all of a sudden Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball 550 times.
Hey, cover of ESPN. Unfortunately, like it is what it is. I mean, not cover of Madden.
Yeah. Tough scenes. All right. This is what we've got through 15 rounds. We got to try and land the plane. Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Mason, Ramondre Stevenson, Isaac Urendo, Jalen Wright, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, Roma Dunze, Josh Downs, Adam Thielen, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert.
Colts bye week real quick. Can we get a check?
Colts bye week is late, right?
Okay.
By week 11. Okay, cool. So we're at least good. There you go. So maybe we'll take Daniel both Jones. Of them. We'll take Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's terrible.
On draft, so I've gone back and forth. Like I think on DraftKings it's actually fine because again, it just goes back to those late picks. They don't actually like their hit rate is so low. We're using it so late. You have the extra spot or two, but it just feels so bad to do it in a format here where you're taking 2 spots on neither. When most likely they're rarely going to surpass your starting QB.
Right. What about in the Superflex stuff? Do you think it is a good or bad idea to take 2 on the same team?
For those 2, I do it.
Yeah,
they're both so cheap. Actually, Anthony Richardson's not actually as cheap as he's going to be. But I think like Daniel Jones just makes it cheap enough that if you're doing like 5 QBs and you wanted 2 of them to be the Colts guys, I think that's fine.
Yeah. I also like the idea of treating the running backs treating the quarterbacks like running backs in the Superflex stuff. Like if JJ McCarthy twists a knee, Sam Howell is the nuts in round 20 or whatever. I've been doing a lot of that. I find the Superflex stuff pretty interesting.
I love it. And the answer is Malik Willis.
Yeah, he's really strong. Okay.
The key is not every quarterback is going to do well enough to make your Superflex. So I don't want to be okay. What are we?
So what about taking Dart and then taking a giant instead of taking Daniel Jones, or taking both? Honestly,
I don't
looks like all giants are gone. Slayton's gone. So it would be
give us the De'Ami Brown. You like De'Ami Brown? We're going to be able to get Daniel Jones later on. And if not, then Dart. But now that we know we've got 3 QBs, Star Fox is the only concern here. But like, come on.
Yeah. I do. God help me, man. I actually don't like De'Ami Brown. This is what's happened to me. He's just, it's just such good, safe, projectable volume. He's a terrible player. I mean, it's actually
week 17 correlation too.
Yeah, he is just really bad though. Like, there's a reason why NFL teams are are over him, but you never know. Zay Jones was bad too.
When you say NFL teams are over him, you don't think there was a market for him? I mean, he signed so quickly for what, 10 million?
Yeah, 1-year deal though. Juju got a 3-year deal, bro. He's making Juju Smith-Schuster money. Juju Smith-Schuster, Juju signed last summer for 3 years, $33 million.
Yeah, that was different. I mean, it was the Chiefs too. You guys couldn't find a wide receiver to sit. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
It is it's Tutu Atwell money. I get that. Okay.
Yeah, it's Tutu Atwell money.
I think Daniel Jones makes sense, but like rather than just a naked Jackson Dart, like
let's do it. Let's do it. Because if Slayton was there, I would have said let's do Dart. But
he went early. Slayton. He went like round 15 or something. 14.
Yeah, there he did, round 14. Yeah. All right, nothing. Getting nothing by these folks. Who are some of your favorite round 18 guys?
Keaton Mitchell is definitely making his way up there right now, because I think if Derrick Henry were to go down, that's not Justice Hill's workload. And then I think we saw how electric Keaton Mitchell was before the injury, that he may actually have some kind of standalone value. Let's see. I think Sean Tucker is an underlooked guy that
Sean Tucker is a good one.
Can't even convince our projections team to get him because it just doesn't make sense from a projection standpoint. But I think they like him. I think if Bucky was to go down, that it's not the Rachaad White show as it was in the past. I think Rachaad White continues his pass catching role and maybe takes a little more, but I think Sean Tucker on that offense would be really strong. And again, I'm going for players that are not being drafted at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is definitely a hidden little crowbar, right? To toss in there. There's that big difference between 88 teams had Kareem Hunt in all of Best Ball Mania 5. You get one of those, a dude who projects for 15 or whatever in the playoff weeks, and you're feeling very good.
Yeah, you also got to think who are those other 87 Kareem Hunt teams, and how many of those were an auto draft or someone who's still stuck in 5 years ago. And so if you're doing it in a sharp manner, and maybe that's why we should be drafting Nick Chubb. I don't know, but
right. What
do you want for this last pick?
Yeah, I was just trying to think. When you start with a running back in round 1, generally you're thinking, okay, I only need 6. But I've changed my thinking about that for 2 reasons. The first being running backs just score better on underdog than wide receivers do. And then 2, the most obvious thing is it's a lot harder to find breakouts, right? Is Calvin Austin going to break out? Definitely not. Is Amari Cooper going to break out? Definitely not. And then the round 18 running backs are just way better. I don't know. Brashard Smith, I obviously really like.
Obviously. You should.
Zach Moss. There's a pretty sneaky one. Zach Moss, fully healthy. His neck seems fine. We could do Sean Tucker. I'm trying to think if there are any obvious bringbacks or anything. Tight ends, we've got Jatavian, Juwan Johnson, Theo Johnson, Elijah Arroyo, Noah Gray, Conklin, Komet.
I'd probably go with tight end this team.
Yeah, that is certainly our weakest positional group.
It's pretty weak. It's not the strongest. And when you look at who's available at this point in the drafts, granted, Juwan and Theo just went, so those are 2 of the targets. But you just have legitimate starters, and those guys are just far more likely to fall into your flex spot or surpass your other tight ends.
Yeah. We also, maybe this would be slightly better. Bryson Jatavian. We could
if he's available, I agree.
Yeah, we could have tried to do that. Daniel Jones, dude. Daniel Jones has a top 10 quarterback season on his record. So, do with that whatever you will. Probably not much.
So when Jackson Dart and Daniel Jones are both starting, I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones will have a higher projection.
Yeah, Dart's a scrambly boy though. More than you'd think.
But the team total is going to be vastly different with the Colts and Giants, I think.
Yeah. Yes, that is a very good point. All right. You can take whatever tight end you want here.
I'd go Jatavian. I'm a little scared that Noah Fant's not going to get cut as we were hoping, like as each day goes on, because I did like Arroyo before all that. But
yeah,
the
I was like
news
very confident Noah Fant would be cut by now, honestly. But I guess when your team is like nowhere near the salary cap or whatever, like what's the point? Just keep them around.
But you can use your salary cap the following year, I think, right? Like if you save in this year, you can spend that next year if they felt that, hey, next year there's a free agency, there's a more competition.
Correct.
Like there is value in actually saving that and deferring it, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Final team. Did we land the plane? Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Jordan Mason, Ramondre Stevenson, Isaac Urendo, Jalen Wright, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, Rome Odunze, Josh Downs, Adam Thielen, De'Ami Brown, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, Jatavian Sanders.
Are the wide receivers strong enough? What do we feel? Because
our wide receivers are
fine.
Really, it's got to be Garrett Wilson's got to be a low end wide receiver 1, and Rome like can't be like a bust, right? Like he just if Rome is just a straight up bust, like I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of fantasy football teams that are looking pretty dusty if Rome is straight up a bust, but the
8.3% or like more than that.
Yeah, like maybe like 8.6%.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And actually have like a weird amount of teams with this exact combination of Thielen and De'Ami Brown getting there and being like, you know what? I'm not going to have any wide receivers break out, so I better just get these dudes who Michael Leone is going to have projected for 9.7 dog out points in week 17. I think this team's pretty strong. I always advance the teams that make it there with Herzig. Herzig, this is the question.
Mm-hmm.
If this is our team that gets through, do you count this in your active streak of making the Best Ball Mania finals?
Only if I also make another, then I got 1.5 through. But it's got to be at least 1 through.
All right.
Before I can count.
I'm calling this one Daniel Jones with Herzig. Perfect.
There you go. I mean, hey,
I want to remember this one.
I'm just glad you put up that Anthony Richardson, tweet ahead of time. Thanks to it was someone in chat who informed us. No one has informed us what Crack Rock has sent us. So either he's slacking or you guys are slacking.
Yeah. How is it possible this guy is not tweeted yet? It seems really unbelievable. All right, man. Tell the people what you have going on over at Establish the Run. Yeah,
just all content streams. We're gonna start firing up. Everything's over there. You guys know what's up. Appreciate you all, chat. You were fire. You got such a good chat though. Always going. I know I'm always enjoying that. I usually listen to more of your streams. Sorry for not giving you that extra YouTube couple dollars, but
it's allowed.
I know your chat's on fire.
They do great. I love them very much. Thank you for coming to hang out, Justin.
All right, I'll see you later, Davis.
Later, dude. All right, everyone. That's also going to do it for me. I'm going to get out of here. Get ready. I'll be back with you guys all in an hour for Ship Chasing. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel for daily fantasy football videos. And I will see you guys all back with a brand new video.